Good morning, students. In this lecture 61st of electronics, we will discuss transistor as a two-port network. But before discussing this transistor as a two-port network, we will discuss that what is the meaning of port and what are one-port networks, what are two-port networks, and what are multi-port networks. Then we will discuss the transistor as a two-port network. So, when you will discuss this transistor as a two-port network, then the question will come to your mind that what is a port? Port is actually a pair of terminals through which current may enter or it may leave the network. So what is a port? It is a pair of terminals, and pair means it consists of two terminals. One port, it consists of combination of two terminals, which means the pair of terminals. So what is the port? Port is the combination of two terminals through which current may enter or leave the network. And now there are various types of one-port network, two-port network, three-port network, four-port network. And these three-port network, four-port network, and all these are known as multi-port network. But before discussing that, we will discuss the simplest case, which is the one-port network. Now, as I have already told you that what is the meaning of port. So what will be the one-port network? It will be the combination of just two terminals. So most of the two-terminal devices such as resistor, inductor and capacitor, they all form one-port network using one at a time. So here you can see in figure number A, we have a resistor having two terminals, means a pair of terminals, 1 and 1 dash. So this is one-port network, this one is inductor, again a one-port network, this one is capacitor, again a one-port network. And here, suppose I is the current which is entering through terminal 1 to this resistor R. Then if this current I is entering from one terminal, then it must leave from the other terminal. What is the other terminal? Other terminal is 1 dash. It means if I is the current which is entering from one terminal, then it must leave from the other terminal. So same current I, it must leave from the terminal 1 dash. And current entering the terminal, it is taken as positive, and the current leaving the terminal, it is taken as negative according to the sign convention. Current leaving, according to sign convention, it can be taken as negative, and current entering, it will taken as positive. And then this whole network, it is represented by a black box. This is a black box which consists of a one-port network, and this one-port network, it is having two terminals. Here also again, if I is the current which is entering through this terminal 1, then the same current I, it will be leaving through this terminal 1 dash. So in figure A of the resistance, you can see, which I have already told you, that current I, it is entering from terminal 1 and leaving from terminal 1 dash. So any current which is entering, it must leave from the other terminal. So what will be the net current entering the network? I is the current entering, which is taken as positive. And why we are taking this as minus I? Because it is the current which is leaving the terminal. So net current will be 0 amperes. So this is the sign convention. So this was all about one-port networks. So now we will move to our next type, which is in our syllabus, that is two-port networks. So what are two-port networks? As we know that one port means two terminals. So two-port means four terminals. So two-port networks have two separate ports, means these devices, these networks have total four terminals, or you can say that two pairs of terminals, out of which one pair is known as input port and the another pair of terminals is known as output port. So in case of two-port network, this is the black box representing the two-port network. This 1 dash, it is the pair of terminals, it is one port, and here we have another pair of terminals 2 and 2 dash. This is second port. So this is two-port network to having total of 4 terminals. And suppose if I1 is the current which is entering from this port, from this terminal, then the same current it will be leaving from this terminal. Similarly, if I2 is the current which is entering from this terminal, then same current it will be leaving from this terminal. And there will be voltage across this, and suppose V1 is the voltage across this port 1 and 1 dash, and V2 is the voltage across this second port, that is between terminals 2 and 2 dash. So this is known as input port and this is known as output port. So in case of two-port network, how many variables we have? V1, I1, V2, I2. Means in case of two-port networks, we have total 4 variables. And out of these 4 variables, at any time, we can take any 2 variables as the independent variables and another 2 variables as the dependent variables. So depending upon which of the variables we are taking as independent and which of the variables we are taking as dependent, there are many types of parameters like H parameters, Z parameters, Y parameters, ABCD parameters. So there are various parameters in case of two-port networks, which just depends upon that which of the variables out of these 4 we are taking as dependent and which of the variables we are taking as independent variables. So out of these 4 variables, we have 2 variables at the input port which are V1 and I1, and we have another 2 variables at the output port which are V2 and I2. And next, which I have already told you, that out of these 4 variables, any of 2 will be independent variables and another 2 will be the dependent variables. Then what are the conditions that the black box, the circuitry, it must satisfy? The black box, it should consist, means the circuit, it should consist only the linear elements and the passive elements like resistor, inductor, capacitor. And these inductor and capacitors, they have also energy storage capacity. So the black box may also contain energy storing elements like inductor and capacitor. And black box, it may contain dependent source, but it should not contain independent source. So this was all about the basics of two-port networks. Then we have multi-port networks. The examples of multi-port networks, it is 3-port network. In case of 3-port network, we will have total of 6 terminals. Means we will have 3 pairs of terminals. Then in case of 4-port network, we will have total of 8 terminals. It means 4 pairs of terminals. And here I have shown you one example, and it is the example of 4-port network, and it is known as multi-port network. Then what are the examples of these 2-port networks? As resistor, inductor, capacitor, these were the examples of 1-port network. What are the examples of 2-port network? As we are discussing the chapter transistor, it means definitely transistor will be one of the examples of 2-port networks. And the other examples are filters, transformer and transistor. These are the examples of two-port networks, and now we will study transistor as a two-port network. So transistor as a two-port network, it is from your book in case of a transistor as a two-port network. So we know that in case of transistor, how many terminals are there? There are 3 terminals, emitter, base and collector. So transistor is basically a 3-terminal device. Then how can it will be the example of, how can you take this transistor as an example of two-port network which requires 4-terminal device? Though this transistor is a 3-terminal device, but we know that in case of a transistor amplifier, one terminal out of the 3 terminals, one terminal is always common between the input circuit and the output circuit. So if we have one terminal common, then we will have 2 junctions, input junction or input circuit and output circuit. Input circuit, it is having 2 terminals, and output circuit, it is having 2 terminals. So on the whole, we have 4 terminals because one terminal is common between the input side and the output side. So in this way, transistor, which is actually a 3-terminal device, but it is acting like a 4-terminal device. So that is why we can use this transistor as a two-port network, means a 4-terminal device. So, in case of the input port of the transistor, the actual small signal, small AC signal, it is applied to the input pair of the terminals of the transistor, and on the output side, on the output port, what you will receive? You will receive the amplified signal from the pair of output terminals, which is known as output port of the transistor amplifier. So in this way, we can use transistor as a two-port network, where this one terminal, it will be common out of these 4. One terminal, it will be common in case of input port. This one is input port and this one is output port. I1, it is the current entering, and here the same current I1 it will be leaving, and here again this I2 it will be the current which is entering, and from here this terminal, this same current it will leave, and V1 is the voltage across input port and V2 is the voltage across output port. Again you can see as transistor, it is the example of two-port network. So we have 4 variables. And out of these 4 variables, we can take any 2 variables independent and any 2 variables dependent at any time. Depending upon that, we have various parameters. So these parameters, they are known as two-port parameters, depending upon which of the variables we are taking as dependent or independent. So the first example, first type is Z parameters. Second one is Y parameters, third one is H parameters, fourth one is ABCD or transmission parameters, fifth type is the inverse of the type third. So fifth type is known as inverse hybrid parameters, and this sixth type, it is the inverse of fourth. So sixth type is known as inverse transmission parameters. And out of all these 6, in your book, only first 3 are mentioned, and only one out of these 6 we will discuss in detail in your syllabus. That is H parameters, which are known as hybrid parameters, and we will discuss these hybrid parameters in case of transistor as a two-port network in detail. So out of these 6 in this video, I am going to explain only first 3, and I will upload the video which will explain these 3 also, not in detail but in brief. So first parameters are Z parameters, and these Z parameters, they are also known as impedance parameters. So Here we have a two-port network. This is a two-port network where I1 is the current entering and leaving through the input port, and I2 is the current entering and leaving from the output port. V1 is the voltage across input port, V2 is the voltage across output port. And in case of impedance parameters, out of these four variables, I1 and I2, they are taken as independent variables. I1 and I2, they are taken as independent variables, and the voltage V1 and V2, they are taken as dependent variables. If V1 and V2 are dependent variables, then they will depend upon what? V1 and V2, they both are dependent. And they will depend upon the independent variables. It means for the value of this V1, it will depend upon I1 and I2 both. Means we can say that this dependent variable V1, it will be the function of independent variables I1, I2. So you can write like this. Similarly, this dependent variable V2, it is also the function of both the independent variables I1 and I2. So from this, what will be the expression of V1? It will be the linear combination of I1 and I2. Similarly, what will be the expression of V2? It will again be the linear combination of I1 and I2. So we can write it like V1, it is the linear combination of I1 and I2, where this Z, these two Z, what are they? These are the coefficients of I1 and I2. Z11, it is the coefficient of I1. Z12, it is the coefficient of I2. Similarly, write this V2 as the linear combination of I1 and I2, where Z21 is the coefficient of I1 and Z22 is the coefficient of I2. And you can also write these two equations in the matrix form in this way, where this is known as a impedance matrix. And why we are denoting these coefficients as Z? Because if you have to find the value of this Z11, what you will do? You will make this I2 equal to 0. When this I2 will be 0, what will be the value of Z11? It will be V1. Move this I1 to this side, it will be V1 by I1. And what is voltage upon current? It is resistance or impedance. And impedance is denoted by Z. That is why we are denoting these coefficients by Z. And in case of, because you can also write these two equations in matrix form, and in matrix form, this is the way to denote the row and column 1 1 1 2 2 1 2 2. That is why we are writing these subscripts with Z. So what will be the value of Z11? In case of small change in V1, if you are writing these expressions in terms of change, then what will be Z11? It will be the change in V1 with respect to the change in I1. It means Z11 will be curly V1 by curly I1 at constant I2. At constant I2. Similarly, what will be Z12? It will be the change in V1 with respect to change in I2 at constant I1. So it will be Z12 will be curly V1 by curly I2 at constant I1. When you are dealing with the change in V1, means when you are dealing with dV1 here. And similarly, when you are dealing with the change in V2, which will be dV2, small change in V2, which will be dV2, then what will be Z21? It will be the change in V2 corresponding to the change in I1. Means Z21 will be curly V2 by curly I1 at constant I2. Similarly, Z22 will be curly V2 by curly I2 at constant I1. Now you can see this is V1 and I1. Both are the values of input port. So that is why it will be known as input impedance. And this term, it consists of the numerator, it consists of input port divided by output port. Input voltage divided by output current. So when any ratio, it involves input and output. Input divided by output. It is known as reverse transfer. And what is this V by I? It is impedance. So this will be reverse transfer impedance. Similarly, here we have output over input. When we have some output value divided by input, then it is known as forward transfer. And what is the value of V by I? It is impedance. So this is forward transfer impedance. And when you are taking the changes, means curly V1 by curly I1, curly V1 by curly I2, at that time you will not use this term open circuit. You will use this term open circuit when you are not considering the changes. You are just considering this V1 by I1. You are just considering V1 by I2. I will discuss later. So this is forward transfer impedance. Similarly, this is output voltage over output current. So this is the output impedance. But then if you don't involve these changes, you are just writing this V1 as V1, means you are not writing this V1 as dV1. Then it will be this equation. And what will be the value of Z1? How you can find the value of Z11? When this I2 is 0. And when this I2 will be 0, this Z11 will be V1 by I1. So what is the value of Z11 in that case? It will be V1 by I1 when you make I2 equal to 0. And when I2 is equal to 0 means through which circuit current cannot flow? Through open circuit. It means output circuit is open. So second port is open circuited. So that is why we are using this term open circuit. This is the ratio of input values. So that is why input impedance. So Z11 parameter is known as open circuit input impedance. Similarly, this Z12 will be V1 by I2 when I1 is 0. When first port is open circuited, then this will be known as open circuit ratio of input by output. So reverse transfer impedance. Similarly, at that time Z21 will be the ratio of V2 by I1 when I2 is 0. So this will be known as open circuit forward transfer impedance. Similarly, this will be known as open circuit output impedance. Then comes second type of parameters, which are known as Y parameters, and we know that Y is actually admittance. Y represent, as Z represent impedance, Y represent admittance, means it is the ratio of current by voltage. So here, how these Y parameters, they are different from Z parameters? Because in case of Y parameters, voltage V1 and V2, they are taken as independent variables, and current I1 and I2, they are taken as dependent variables. Now in this case, both I1 and I2, they will depend upon V1 and V2 for their values. So you can write these two equations. It means this I1 will be the linear combination of V1 and V2, which is this equation. And this I2, it will be the linear combination of V1 and V2, which is this equation. And why we are writing these coefficients as Y? Because if you have to find the value of this coefficient, what you will do? You will make this V2 equal to 0. Then this coefficient will be equal to, move this V1 to this side, it will be I1 by V1. And what is I by V? It is admittance. And we denote admittance by Y. So that is why we are denoting these coefficients with Y. And in matrix form, it will be a column matrix of I1 and I2. Then a square matrix of Y11, Y12, Y21, Y22, which is known as admittance matrix. And then again multiplied by the column matrix of V1, V2. So how we can calculate this Y11, Y12, Y21, Y22? By making the other part equal to 0. So first we have to calculate Y11. How? If this voltage V2 will be 0, then you can find Y11 is equal to I1 by V1 when V2 is 0. And when voltage is equal to 0, it means the circuit is short circuited. So that is why we will use the term short circuit. So It is the ratio of both the input values, so that is why it is known as input. And what is I by V? It is admittance. So Y11 is the short circuit input admittance. Then what about Y12? Keep this V1 equal to 0, then you will get Y12 is equal to I1 by V2. As it is the V1 equal to 0 means short circuit, input over output means reverse transfer, and what is I by V? It is admittance. Then comes Y21 by making this V2 equal to 0. V2 equal to 0 means short circuit, output port is short circuited. And Y21 will be I2 by V1. So short circuit, output by input means forward transfer, I by V is admittance. Then what about Y22? Make this V1 equal to 0 means again input port is short circuited. So short circuit, I2 by V2 means output, I by V means admittance. So short circuit output admittance. And next comes our H parameters, which are in our syllabus in detail. So in this video, I will just give the introduction to H parameters, as I have given to Z parameters and Y parameters. So in case of H parameters, we have 4 variables I1, I2. According to your book, they are using I1 and I2 by small I1 and small I2. So I am taking them small, and V1 and V2. These are 4 variables. And in case of H parameters, which are also known as hybrid parameters, I1 and V2, they are taken as independent variables. It means I2 and V1, they are taken as dependent variables. So the values of these dependent variables, how we can calculate them? They will be the function of the independent variables, which are I1 and V2. Again, you can write this V1 as the function of I1 and V2. This implies this I2 will be the linear combination of these two, and this V1, it will also be the linear combination of these two. Now as this V1 it is the voltage related to the input port, so you will write the first equation for this. So what will be the first equation? This V1, it will be the linear combination of these two quantities. How? Here we will have some coefficient into I1, then plus some coefficient into V2. And what are these coefficients? They are H parameters, hybrid parameters. So it will be H11, it will be denoted by H12. Similarly, this I2, it will be the linear combination of again I1 and V2. So what will be the coefficients? Here we will have H21 and here we will have H22. And we can also write it in matrix form. So in matrix form, it will be V1 I2. It is equal to H11 H12, H21 H22 into I1 by V2. But why these are known as H parameters? Because as we have already discussed, in case of Z parameters, all these 4 coefficients, they were having the dimensions of impedance. That is why they are known as impedance parameters. And in case of Y parameters, all these 4 Y parameters, they were having the dimensions of admittance, I by V. But in case of H parameters, out of these 4 coefficients, one will have the dimensions of impedance, one will have the dimension of admittance, and the 2 parameters, 2 coefficients, they will be dimensionless. It means they are mixed. So that is why they are known as hybrid parameters. These four parameters, the dimensions of these four parameters, in this case, it is not same. One is having the dimensions of impedance, second admittance, and two are dimensionless. So that is why they are known as hybrid parameters. So this is all about these parameters, and in the next video we will discuss these H parameters in case of a transistor in detail.